I once had a friend from university. After graduation, for some reasons, this friend still did not receive the graduation certificate. And this made my friend feel deeply ashamed. While other friends started working, started making new plans, and started stepping into life after university, this friend went back to the hometown and almost stayed in the room all day. No desire to meet anyone, no desire to explain anything to anyone, and no motivation to think about what the next step should be. Just like that, 3 years passed. And I think sometimes what keeps a person in a painful place for a long time is not only a delay or a problem with a document. It is the feeling that you have been left behind by people your age. It makes us feel small. It makes us feel scared when we see everyone moving forward, while we are still standing in the same place. And it brings a quiet, painful feeling that maybe we have become a failure. But the truth is, we have not even truly started our life yet. The truth is, life outside does not always follow the plan we once made for ourselves. Some people study architecture, but later follow their dream of becoming a singer. Some people hold a bachelor's degree in their hands, and only then realize that they have a passion for becoming a good chef. Some people spend many years walking on one path, and in the end, they finally become honest enough to admit that they want a different life. When a big plan in life changes, it does not mean they have failed. Sometimes it is only a sign that you have grown up and understand yourself better than before. Being brave enough to let go of a path that no longer fits you is not moving backward. It is a choice. It may be the bravest step you take to start living a life that truly belongs to you. Let me tell you a true story. There was a boy who grew up in a small countryside area in Tuscany, Italy. Since he was very young, he loved music. Music was almost the thing that made his heart feel most comforted. But when he grew up, his path did not go straight into music, as many people might imagine. He studied law, he got a law degree, and he even worked as a lawyer for some time. From the outside, it may have looked like a very clear path. Study law, become a lawyer, and build a stable life. But sometimes life has another calling. After some time, he decided to turn to music. It was a choice that, by normal logic, could seem very risky. Because not everyone who leaves a stable path can know for sure that they will succeed on a new path. But he still kept going. And that boy later became one of the most famous tenor voices in the world. He is Andrea Bocelli. I tell this story not to say that everyone who changes direction will become famous. I tell it to remind myself that sometimes the first path we choose does not have to be the final path of our life. Some turns may look like we are going the wrong way at first, but later, when we look back, maybe that was the moment we started moving closer to the true calling inside us. Just like Andrea Bocelli could not know for sure, on the day he left law, what kind of life music would bring him. It was just that, at that stage, he was honest enough with himself to realize that the path of law was no longer the place where he belonged. And I think there is one very important thing to remember. When a plan falls apart, it is not always a special kind of bad luck that only happens to one person. In fact, it is a very natural part of life. Because when we make a plan, we usually build it based on what we know at that moment. We know what major we are studying. We know what job we want. We know what we hope will happen. But in real life, there are many changes that we cannot predict. Maybe the economy changes, maybe an opportunity comes later than we expected. Maybe a rule changes. Maybe someone we once trusted makes a different choice. Maybe a door we thought would surely open finally closes right in front of us. And sometimes, that change does not come from the outside. It comes from inside us. What we wanted so badly at the age of 20 may no longer make us happy at the age of 25. The path we once thought was certain may no longer fit the person we are becoming after a few years. A dream that once made us excited may one day start to feel unfamiliar. So when a plan does not happen the way we hoped, it does not mean we are weak. It also does not mean we have completely failed. It only means that life has brought in some new variables, things that the older version of us could not see, could not calculate, and could not fully prepare for. And when we look at it this way, maybe we can blame ourselves a little less. Instead of saying, "I am such a failure, I ruined everything," maybe we can be gentler with ourselves and say, "The old plan no longer fits the new situation. And now, I need to learn how to adjust." Because growing up is not about controlling everything. Growing up is realizing that there are many things we cannot fully control. But we can still choose how to respond, choose the next step, and choose not to turn one wrong turn into a life sentence. But saying this is much easier than doing it. Because when a plan that we gave our whole heart to falls apart, what we lose is not only the result. We also lose trust in ourselves. In that painful moment, we begin to doubt our past choices. We ask ourselves, was I wrong from the beginning? Was I too naive? Am I not good enough, not lucky enough, not worthy enough? And those questions make us feel even more afraid. They make us want to hide from the outside world. Because if we once believed so much in a plan, tried so hard for it, and it still fell apart in the end, how can we dare to believe in a new plan? How can we dare to trust ourselves one more time? I think the answer is not to force ourselves to be strong immediately. It is also not to force ourselves to have a big new plan to replace the old one. Maybe the first step is simply to admit this. I am carrying a very big sadness. I am sad because I truly tried. I am sad because I hoped so much. I am sad because the happy future I imagined has disappeared. And that sadness does not mean I am weak. It only proves that I once truly cared. I once gave my heart to something. And my life once had a meaningful chapter, when I tried my best for that plan for a very long time. After that, instead of asking, how can I fix my whole life? Maybe I only need to ask a smaller question. Today, what is one very small thing I can do so I do not abandon myself? In fact, both science and spirituality tell us something very similar. When life feels too messy, do not try to control the whole future. When we start taking one small and clear action, the brain begins to feel again, I can still do something. Self-trust does not come back only through positive thinking. It comes back through small evidence. When you send an email to look for a new job, when you clean one corner of your room and start reading some documents, when you pick up your phone and ask your friends if they know any job opportunities that may be right for you. In real life, we cannot always see the whole path ahead clearly. There are times when life only shows us one small step in front of us, and our job is not to force everything to become clear immediately. Our job is to take that step with awareness, humility, and trust that life is still guiding us through each small step. If you force yourself to find a new 3-year or 5-year plan right away, you may feel overwhelmed and fall down again. At that moment, what you need is not an answer to everything immediately. What you truly need is to find again the feeling that you can still move forward. That is the meaning of trusting the next step. When you learn to trust each small next step, you slowly take back control of your present life. When you are trapped in heavy and negative thoughts, your fear will grow bigger and bigger, and it may slowly drown you. For example, if I create a podcast channel and it fails, trusting the next step does not mean I have to force myself to believe that one day the channel will surely become famous. It also does not mean I have to make a big plan right away to save everything. Sometimes, trusting the next step simply means having enough courage not to say that I am useless. Just because one thing I did has not succeeded. Maybe the next step is to sit down and look again. Which episode truly touched the listeners? Which topic I spoke about with my whole heart? Which opening was not strong enough, and what I can do better in the next episode? Maybe the next step is only to rewrite one title, record one opening again, learn one small skill, post one more episode, or give myself a few days to rest and get my energy back. Then return with a clearer mind. Because the failure of one project is not the failure of my whole self. Or like my friend, who felt ashamed and could not find a job because the graduation certificate had not been received yet. For this friend, trusting the next step does not mean forcing the self to become confident immediately, to have a stable career right away, or to prove to everyone that they are not behind anyone. No. The next step can be much smaller than that. Maybe it is opening the documents again and checking what papers are still missing. Maybe it is calling the university once. Maybe it is rewriting the CV based on the real skills they have, instead of only looking at the certificate they have not received yet. Maybe it is applying for one small job first. Maybe it is texting one trusted person and saying, "I am stuck. Can you help me look at this again?" And even though these steps are very small, they are not meaningless at all. Because each small action is a reminder to yourself, I have not given up yet. I am still here. I can still do something for my life. That is what trusting the next step really means. It is not blindly believing that everything will become better tomorrow. It is believing that even if life gives me very hard lessons today, I still have enough trust in myself to keep moving forward. Even if the old plan has fallen apart, the fire inside you can still keep burning. There is a famous Japanese saying, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8." And I think the beautiful part of this saying is not in the numbers 7 or 8. The beautiful part is in the spirit behind it. Life may make us fall many times, but we can still choose not to let one fall become the end of our story. And as long as you can still take one more step, it means your story does not end here. Today's episode is not here to say that everything that happens is easy to accept. It is also not here to say that if we just think positively, we will be okay. Today's episode is only a reminder for those who feel that life is not going according to plan. For those who feel slower than others, more lost than others, or stuck at one point for too long. If you are in a season like that, I truly hope you do not rush to believe that your life is broken. Maybe you have not arrived yet. Maybe the old plan has fallen apart. Maybe today you still do not know where to start again. But you are still here, and that alone means your story is not over yet. So please do not force yourself to see the whole future right now. You only need the next step. One small step, one real step, one kind enough step, so you do not abandon yourself today. And I hope that no matter what you are going through, you can still keep a little bit of faith in your heart. That you can still learn again, fix things again, start again, and move forward again. Slowly is okay, as long as you do not stay forever in the place that hurt you.